All right. How you doing, my brother? You doing good?
Doing well, yeah. Came out here to DC, did all the sightseeing yesterday, and then now a dominant Miami Dolphins victory, 45-15.
Yes, but again, price to be paid because unfortunately, Jerome Baker got injured. Did you see him in the locker room? Did it look bad because the dude needed help? So God, it just looked bad, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I went into the locker room here at FedEx Field, the visitors' locker room. Did not see him, so there was a section blocked off with the for medical attention. So I'm assuming he was there. His 55 locker was empty, vacated over there. I did talk to Duke Riley, who was nearby, and David Long was getting to his. That was right next to it as well. But Mike McDaniel did say post game he does not believe it's season ending for him. Just an unfortunate play. I mean, he's chasing down on a mismatch with a wide receiver, Curtis Samuel. Brandon Jones is trying to tackle him before he gets to the pylon, and then that friendly fire on the left knee. So tough blow for him. And then Duke Riley came in after that, wore the green dot. Actually had 7 tackles coming in after him. So that's good to see. That just it's another scenario where hey, maybe that next guy up can provide it, like we've seen with the offensive line, like we see this game with the edge rushers coming in for Jalen Phillips.
Dude, I've been telling everybody the Dolphins are going to prove to have one of the best front offices in the NFL, and that's exactly what they do, bro. They have. We've never seen 5 linemen and backups. In fact, most teams don't have 5 linemen and backups, and yet somehow or another, the Dolphins have 5 linemen and backups everywhere. Jalen Phillips gone. Here comes Andrew Van Ginkel and Agba. Running backs are injured. Backup running backs play. Linemen are injured. Other guys come in. The safety's injured today. Brandon Jones steps in. You know, there seems to be depth everywhere pretty much for this team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some teams don't have. You say some teams don't have 5 linemen, and then some. Some teams don't have 1 or 2 even. I think we've seen a few of them against the Dolphins. One of them that was on the field today, Sam Howell entered this game getting sacked 55 times, and then there were 3 more today. The Giants would be one of them as well. So, yeah, I mean. A testament to we always say on the offensive line side, Butch Berry, but I mean really Chris Greer and everyone that's under him in player personnel wise, just putting together this roster that, hey, Brandon Jones, he has been a starter in this league. And yeah, more so the strong safety role, and then not so much where it's like 2 safeties that do similar things, but with Deshaun Elliott, then he can slide right in there for an injured Javon Holland. And then the same thing, Andrew Van Ginkel and Emmanuel Agba having big games where Agba, I mean, quietly, for as much as he does, as little as he plays, 5 sacks on the season now, as after he had another one today, in very limited snap total, in a very limited snap count total. So it's really impressive that he has 5 with how little he has played.
Yeah, that's actually an awesome stat for him. That he's incredibly productive in the short amount of time. Now he's going to get a lot more playing time, and every time he has gotten an opportunity, and remember he had kind of like an off year last year, so it's kind of imperative for him to come back. This is a great opportunity for him because there's a good chance he gets cut next year. Unless they can kind of rework a deal where they move some money back and extend them or some kind of crap like that. If somehow he shines seriously throughout, then maybe something like that they can, wiggle around it or something. But for him, this is an awesome opportunity to display his skills for the next employer.
Yeah, he's a really good guy to have as your 4th edge rushing outside linebacker on the team. That then when one of your top 2 goes down, then he becomes that rotational piece that can get in there and really just rush the passer with a high motor for those few plays that he is in. So that's an opportunity for him. And yeah, whether it's somewhere else, whether it's just ending up with taking a lot less money to stick around, then that's something that's to be seen. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he makes a lot of money to be that 4th edge rusher, but still a quality player to have that deep into the roster, which speaks to just the depth of the roster as a whole.
AVG, brother, he put on a flat out show Okay, I mean, I've been a big AVG supporter. That guy, you see it every single time he's around the football. He finds a way to make a play. It's just absolutely impressive, brother. And he is building himself a nice little resume now to get paid in the offseason.
Yeah, and especially how versatile he is now because he's added that ability to play inside linebacker, and then now you end up having not only Jalen Phillips but Jerome Baker injured, and he's a guy that could slide into that role as well. But you can't fit into both spots at the same time. But he's going to end up seeing a lot of snaps now between the two, and then Duke Riley can handle the inside play, and then you have Van Ginkel doing his natural edge rushing type of stuff, which he's only enhanced by also adding the off-ball inside linebacker play. He's kind of got a better scope of the defense as a whole from doing that and gaining that experience in the offseason and in game now as well. So it's only just made him a better pass rusher, and now he can come in a little bit fresher. Although, well, now he's going to be playing a lot more when with Phillips out, but he's added moves to his game. He's added to the way he studies opposing tackles. So he's spoken to me about that in the locker room, and it's just he's becoming a veteran, a knowledgeable veteran that knows how to attack the game in the right way from so many different angles.
Dude, Channing Tindall, what's up, man? You've been here a couple of years. How bad is it, man? I don't know how much I got to go dig to find out, but how bad is this shit with him? How lost is he? Because he can't see the light of day no matter what happens.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if now he at least gets some defensive reps because he would be the next guy up after Duke Riley at inside linebacker. I think if we would ask Vic Fangio, I think just from an answer he gave several weeks back, is that he hadn't seen Channing Tindall even practicing on defense for a while at that point. And I imagine he hadn't been leading up to, since he said that. So I think they're really not even taking a look at him defensively at practice. And then maybe that changes some now because you do have to dig a little bit deeper into the roster. And probably, hey, this team with Jerome Baker now set to miss some time might be looking for another inside linebacker that's available also to supplement the roster.
They've done a lot of good stuff on this roster. They've made a lot of great picks. They found a lot of guys undrafted. All that. This is one where it just looks like they've missed, unfortunately, because he has just not been. He hasn't been helpful at all. Pretty much, he's been an absolute bust.
Yeah.
Up to this point. All right, Teron Armstead.
And to wrap up on him, then it was also such a tough position he was put in because he's the number 102 pick, end of the third round. In a lot of drafts, a lot of people aren't even going to think of him. But that Dolphins draft, he was the Dolphins' first selection because they didn't have a first or second rounder or an earlier third round pick. So really, he got a lot more attention than any other late third round final pick of day two. So I think that's why no one would be called a bust for being end of the third round and then not showing up.
Because he's a bust. He doesn't do anything. Okay, as we say en español, es un cero a la izquierda. Okay, un cero a la izquierda. All right. All right, so he's a negative zero, is what basically we say in Spanish. It just sounds so much better. There are things you can say in English that will sound crappy in Spanish, and then there are things that just sound fabulous in Spanish, and just sound terrible in English. It's just the way it goes. But
I haven't heard my dad use that one. I'll have to bring it back to him next time I see him.
Yeah. Does he follow sports heavily?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so walk up to him and say, "Oye viejo, Channing Tindall, un cero le." Watch him go.
Yeah. He's watching more casually. I think I'd have to explain to him who Channing Tindall is. He knows the superstars of the Dolphins, but I don't think he's going that deep on the roster.
At this point, Channing Tindall's family can't find his ass. Okay?
Yeah.
His family. All right, Teron Armstead. I got a bone to pick here. is a team that traded its pass rush. Brother, if Kendall can't play, Keon Smith. If Keon Smith can't play, move Robert Hunt to left tackle. Teron Armstead doesn't need to play. Now he got banged up again. They don't give him. I get it. Teron Armstead must be a pain in the ass behind the scenes saying, I want to play, coach. I want to play, coach. I got to play. I can play. I can play. But this guy, you got to protect him from him, dude. You got to keep him. These are the kind of games you want to rest. Keon Smith played well against the Jets. So play him now against Washington that traded away their pass rush. Today was a day to kind of experiment and get by with that. Why play Teron Armstead when he's not 100%? And look at it, he got injured again.
Yeah. And we don't know if the quadriceps and the knee that he's dealing with also then led to the ankle. It could have just been independent of the other ones, but still, he is a player that's banged up. You didn't want him aggravating any of those other two either. So even if that weren't the case, then yeah, this wasn't the game where you wanted that to happen. And I'm sure, like you say, and Mike McDaniel has said this, is that Armstead's a warrior. He wants to be out there whenever he can. And I mean, McDaniel even thought it was going to be a week-to-week thing, and then Armstead's out there playing in this game the very next week after hurting the quadriceps against the Jets. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm with you. They didn't need it. They had some extra days of rest between the Jets in this game, and then now it's also another extra day before the Titans, but then it'll be a shorter week on the other side of that afterwards when you have the Jets at home. So, yeah, you can give them a rest. I think this is the part of the schedule where you can get away with it, and you have a backup that you can trust in that spot.
I just didn't understand him playing today. If you can't put Kendall Lamb out there, then put Keon Smith or find somebody else. Because I trust you guys. Whoever you put out there actually is going to do. But put Liam Eichenberg at left tackle. You probably could get away with it. It just today this was the perfect game to give him a rest. All right, Tyreek, man, what can you say? Like I said at the beginning of the year to point out again that I'm wrong. There's no way he gets 2,000 yards because I thought they would dedicate themselves to the run, right? And because you're going to run a lot more, there's no way he gets 2,000 yards. Well, guess what? They did dedicate themselves to the run, and they're one of the best at running, and he's going to get the 2,000 yards. This is stupid, bro.
It's unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
It's so what's he at now? He'd be close to, I think he answered 1324. He had 157, so he's almost at 1,500, right? He's closing in on it. I'd have to do some math here, but yeah, I mean, he's on pace. So he has maintained the pace, ahead of the pace for that 2,000-yard season. Just got to stay healthy, really, and it's pretty much going to happen. So, yeah, just incredible. Third and short. We talked about these third and short woes. So third and two, he just puts a little move on Kendall Fuller. It goes over the top of Washington in that single high safety look, so no help over the top, and then they were done. They were toast at that point, and then later adjusting one shoulder, sees it in the air. Tua was throwing it to the outside shoulder, and he's able to make the adjustment with the ball in flight. Then just tremendous from a receiver, not just the speed, but then those are some ball skills that a lot of receivers, once they turn over the wrong shoulder, they'd be all disoriented when they try to go around to the other and try to find the ball. And just a great athletic play.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, okay? But young and Julian Hill, this might have been the moment he woke up and came out of the womb and opened his eyes or broke through the shell as a young chick. It's what it seems to me, because the young man looked so good in the offseason, the preseason, and training camp, and then the poor guy was just falling on his face like a young guy does, like Tanner Connor pretty much has done pretty much every time he's got an opportunity. And so today he looked good. He looked confident. He played well. And so in a week where we're all talking about Zach Ertz, and they so desperately need a playmaker at that position. Again, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but I just thought that was a real nice little positive here and something now to look at moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's the glimpses that you saw in training camp, and yeah, maybe not specifically in that he's going up for jump balls like we saw time and time again through training camp and these red zone touchdowns. But hey, red zone play, he got them down within whatever it was, the 5 or so. Yeah, a couple of catches in this game, 23 yards. So yeah, you look for these little sparks, whether it's in these games, if it's in meaningful moments, or if it's once you're already running away from them, and then even if it's in garbage time, like you had that Mike White to Robbie Chosen touchdown against the Broncos. These little things, you like seeing them from the backups, just in case if they're ever put into the position where they have to contribute. And like we see in those meaningful times at various positions on the offensive line, with Duke Riley today going in for Baker, and then Andrew Van Ginkel and Manuel Agba. So it's really nice to see that you have depth in those options. And hey, Julian Hill, a tight end on the roster with Zach Ertz, maybe not inside. I don't know what's going on internally inside the Dolphins building, but that the fan base is Zach Ertz's name has picked up steam with them. And then hey, you don't forget about me. You have a tight end right here that you picked up as a gem as an undrafted rookie.
By the way, in one of Julian Hill's catches, which Tua did it like 3 times today, where he had to avoid pressure and sidestep it and then reset again to make a play. And those are things that people always talk about. Oh, you take away his first read or whatever and all that kind of stuff. Today, he had a couple of those pressured moments where he extended the play and made it. One of them, I think he just overthrew somebody barely over the sidelines. It was actually a nice throw by Tua, and it had a chance. But the other two, one of them was Julian Hill, and I forgot the other one, but they were completions by him.
Yeah, and I was also just looking down now. Right, Tua was not sacked today, and then I was looking at the quarterback hits because I thought maybe he was hitting more than he was. No, I mean the stats only have the Commanders for 2 of those instances. So I remember those 2 instances, and then there were a lot of other scenarios where he avoided pressure or got the ball out just at the right time. So and also just big game for Tua in the sense that he did not turn the ball over. Because we know he's been going through that rut of turnovers. So Mike McDaniel said, and the team felt that he would have a big comeback game one of these games coming up. And this was one of them with those 2 big touchdown strikes while not turning the ball over. And you see what's possible. You end up beating a team that you should beat by 30 points when you do that.
Achane, my brother, back with a vengeance, man. Fantasy players everywhere already happy. The kid comes back and scores 2 touchdowns. Crazy.
Yeah. And I'm a guy who, in my leagues, I have 5 different leagues, and I wasn't able to get Achane in any of them. But I have Mostert in a couple, so now Achane's going to be eating into Mostert's production. But Mostert still did have a touchdown in this one, so I appreciate that. But yeah, it's nice when you have those 2, and then as you build the early lead with the 2 Tua to Tyreek connections, and then you get the pick 6 that then you can go to the run game, and then it's both of those guys punching in these touchdowns. So just really nice to see a complete team effort in all facets.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Mike McDaniel, the 2 consistent things, right? Death, taxes. McDaniel fails to win challenges, and Waddle drops.
Yeah. Another drop for Waddle in this one, and this one really inexcusable. Some of them it's like, okay, maybe a hit is coming, maybe it's a tough spot, but this one was just, you're coming back, the ball's coming right at you, 20 yards downfield, and you have no one around you. That one was he's got to come up with that one. So and then Mike McDaniel now 2 of 10 on his career in challenges. So he was 1 of 6 last year. Started off 0 for 5, got that challenge in the finale against the Jets, which was big. And then I know he made some adjustments in the offseason. I'm not sure exactly how the process changed or who is in charge. That's kind of kept under wraps. But now, 1 of 4 this year now after that failed challenge.
Really, and he's really not 1 of 4. He's really not, because the one he won, it was his special teams coordinator. And had the 11th man running off the field. And the only reason they called the penalty is because they assumed that was the 12th man. But luckily, the incompetence of the coordinator saved the coach in his challenge. So really, I don't know if I'm going to give you that one.
That's true.
When, you know what I'm saying? So it just, whatever adjustments made, they suck.
Yeah, still not.
Suck.
Right. And sometimes it's been at inopportune times where it's not a challenge. And I'm trying to remember. No, this one, yeah, it was a third down. Yeah, you want to get off the field. But sometimes it's been odd situations where, is it really worth it to throw the challenge flag in that case? I know even like Robert Saleh had one that he won last week against the Dolphins. It was early, and it was for a 5-yard gain or something. And then I thought, why, yeah, you're going to win it, but you never know what could happen when it goes to replay. I know he had one like that. Yeah, I'm just babbling at this point, but yeah, sometimes he could also improve in just the scenarios and in the risk reward of the challenge as well. I remember thinking that back last year too.
All I know is I could do that job 1,000 times better than anybody he has hired. That's what I know. Okay. I don't think
Big O to be his the voice in his ear to send him the replay word. Yeah.
I don't understand how you haven't been able to find somebody competent, because it's pretty obvious his losses and his challenges are ridiculous at times, and I don't understand who he's listening to, what kind of system they have in place. It sucks. It really sucks. And so those are two things that I'm worried you're going to lose a challenge in a big moment, in a big game, and I'm worried Waddle's going to make a drop in a big moment in a big game. Those are two little things that got to tweak today. Tua, no turnovers, no fumbles. Nice job.
Yeah.
Waddle, brother, you got to do better. And McDaniel, my God. Jesus, dude.
I think on those two fronts, the Mike McDaniel challenge system and Waddle's drops, I think our partners at Welt Rheaume would advise them to plead guilty in these cases and see how they get off.
Jury is out on those guys. That's for sure when it comes to those situations. No doubt about that. All right. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _. Are you David Furones _ also on Threads?
No, David.Furones. Yeah, I made my Threads. I haven't updated in a while. But it's linked to my Instagram. That's my same Instagram, David.Furones.
I don't know. Some tells me we're headed somewhere else in the end.
Yeah,
could be. Those advertisers, he's going to make a complete subscription service. So it's like,
yeah, if Elon does that on Twitter, yeah. But hey, I like that they're paying content creators on X now. So that's a plus.
That would be good if you seeing any money from that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's able to buy a drink or two more every 2-week period. Well, Miami price drinks.
Oh boy! All right, David. We'll catch up on Thursday, my friend. I appreciate you.
Sounds good. Appreciate you.
There you go. The great David Furones from the South Florida Sunset. When we talk about my friends at Welt Rheaume, we love Jeff Welt and Daniel Rheaume, brother. One's a rocker. The other one is a stunt pilot. Yes. And they also kick some ass in the courtroom. They did it for us. They've been at this for over 20 years. AAA rating. I'm telling you, client after client. Their offices are in Hollywood. They've also got an office in the Keys. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Please call my friends at Welt Rheaume. Maybe you don't need it right now, but save the number 954-966-4646 because you just never know when you're going to need it. Busted pipe, maybe not your own, maybe the neighbors, but the water went into your condo, your townhouse, something like that. Call Welt Rheaume. Maybe something happened to you 6 months ago, a year ago. You don't know if you have a case. The consultation's free. It doesn't hurt to ask Jeff Welt, hey, Jeff, this and this and this happened. Do I have a case? And Jeff's going to take the time to listen, explain, and tell you if you have a case or not. 954-966-4640.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.